Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. Today, we'll be talking about acceptance and tolerance, the difference in between both, and how both should apply and can apply to your life. We'll be reading from Colossians chapter 3, verse 13, and Proverbs chapter 14, verse 7. And today I'm using two verses to illustrate and explain the difference in between acceptance and tolerance. So we'll start off with Colossians chapter 3 verse 13, and this is more so for acceptance. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Why is it important to accept people? Why should we accept one another? Bear with each other. We are not meant to do life alone. And if we're going to do life with people, we need to share certain things. And sharing starts with loving. And loving your neighbor, loving a member of your family, loving a friend, loving a close one, starts with love. It starts with acceptance. Acceptance starts by realizing that we are all the same to some extent. We all have different personalities, we all have things that differentiate us from one another. Some are taller, some are shorter, some are more athletic, some are gifted in, well, some. We're all gifted in our own right. But the one thing that we all are sinners. So when Colossians chapter 3 verse 13 talks about bearing with each other, it's about understanding one another. Understanding that at the end of the day, no one is better than the other. Now, in real life and in real time, the consequences of what we do, the real-time consequences of our actions may differ. And that's obviously why some people think that they are better than others. To some extent, I can understand where people are coming from. I mean, it's one thing to cuss someone out, and it's another to kill someone. But this understanding of what it is to bear with one another opens you up to the idea and facilitates the process of accepting one another. It's okay to accept someone's differences compared to you because we are all different. And if we're all going to live in harmony, the differences will be there. Some differences cannot be changed. We need to understand people in order to live with people. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. I want to emphasize on this more so when it comes to discipleship, right? And when I'm talking about not believing that you're better than other people, what is discipleship about? I mean, the Bible obviously tells us to make disciples of nations. Why is acceptance so important in order to do this? Even if you're further along or down your walk with Christ, the point of, first of all, being a disciple is about following Jesus Christ. But how do you make disciples? You first have to accept that you were once in a worse situation than you're in today. And now that you're saved, and now that you know Jesus, and now that you've gained some spiritual maturity, you shouldn't look down on the other people that are where you were. Just because you're not there anymore doesn't mean you weren't there before. So you shouldn't use this newfound position you're in to look down on people. You should rather use that to empower and encourage them to do better. That's what discipleship is. And I think that discipleship starts with acceptance. Now we'll be moving on to Proverbs chapter 14, verse 7. Now for me, this verse mainly emphasizes tolerance and internalization of the differences that we have with one another. And this is exactly where the difference in between acceptance and tolerance needs to be made. So let's quickly read this. Leave the presence of a fool, for there you do not meet words of knowledge. Now, what is tolerance? I think in between acceptance and tolerance, accepting is acknowledging that something is, even if it's different to you, or even if it's different to maybe some of your beliefs, you accept that the difference is there. Now, tolerance is almost adhering to what is happening. It's adhering to certain things that even go against your own values. And this is where the line needs to be drawn. You can accept, first of all, yourself as a sinner. You can accept, and you should accept, others as they are. But the point is not to tolerate the sin that we all do. The point is to move towards something that's better. When Jesus was hanging around sinners, when he was talking to them, I don't have the verse in mind. I'm not sure if he was eating with them or if he was just talking with them. He was in the midst of them. He was in their presence, but he was not partaking in whatever they were doing. He was preaching to these people and brought a light in a dark place. And this is what we should do. Leave the presence of a fool, for there you do not meet words of knowledge. When we talk about meeting, right, tolerating the wrong thing can lead you down a wrong path. Not because the thing that you're tolerating is necessarily wrong, because there are obviously things that you should reject. You shouldn't tolerate certain things. But everything that you shouldn't tolerate isn't necessarily bad. For example, if you're a doctor and your friend is an engineer, both jobs, both careers are great. But it would be foolish of you to adhere to the lifestyle and the ways of working of an engineer if you're a doctor. That's the difference. Refusing to tolerate something doesn't mean that you actually believe that the person or the thing is foolish, but it's the way you position yourself with that thing that becomes foolish. You do not meet words of knowledge. Again, this talks about knowledge. And knowledge, generally speaking, is good. But knowledge that doesn't align with what you're doing doesn't make sense. And something that doesn't make sense is foolish. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something from this. Catch you guys next time.